So you got the job of your dreams, great salary, good title, you are excited, but 3 months in and you realize something very, very scary. Your CEO did not hire you for your skills, he hired you to be their weapon against someone they hate. And maybe it is a rival company, maybe it's own business partner, maybe it's something else, maybe someone who said no to them years ago, and now you are stuck in middle of their personal war. If this sounds like your life right now, don't panic, we are going to cover this, what we have to do. And I have collected a lot of situations similar like this, and I'm going to share powerful strategies that actually work. So stay with me till the end. Okay, so these are not just random tips, they are based on some wisdom teachings from Bhagavad Gita, real strategies I've gathered from people who really survived those exact situations, so that by the end of this video you will know how to keep your job, how to be secured, and maybe even come out of that situation even stronger. So let's start it. So the first part I want to tell you is that the Stoic foundation, the core principles. So whenever we are faced with any setback, whether it is a career break, whether it is a losing a role, whether it is any rejection, where there's rejection on the resumes or rejections by the recruiters, our first instinct is to panic, is to fight, and is to run. But the truth is that tactics won't save you. Okay, and I have researched on this, and I've studied various professionals and leaders who went through exactly same situation, and I've understood from their story that it's not about survival, it's also about thriving in that particular situation. Okay, so how you can survive and thrive together is that you should know the foundation, a way they were thinking, a way you should be thinking, that kept them steady when everything else was very shaky. So this is not about being a superwoman or a superman or a superhuman, it's about adopting the right kind of principles that give you clarity. And no matter how messy the world look like outside, but before I share the exact strategies to get your career back on track, let's talk about this mindset which is called the Stoic foundation. Because once you build this, every next step becomes very easy. So before we go deeper into the tactics, let's talk about the mindset that will actually save you. So, like I told you, that I've studied many of the cases and the people who survived this situation by using the same core principles. So, what exactly the Stoic principles are? Let's before that we should understand what is Stoic exactly. What is the dictionary meaning of that? A person who can endure pain without showing their feelings or without complaining about that pain. Okay, so the first thing is here is focus on what is in control. So not everything is in our control, and that's what most of the people, when most of the coaches say that you have to work on only those situations which are on or which are in your control. So you can't control your CEO's political games, you can't control their enemies, you can only control your reaction, your documentation, your next steps. And I have read the Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita tells that there is a wisdom there where Krishna tells Arjun that you have the right to perform your action, but never the fruits of action, right? So don't make emotional decisions when you are angry, or when you are feeling that pain, or when you are feeling scared. Okay, another thing is that take 24 hours before responding to any big request, take a pause. Okay, and just in case, I want you to tell you that keep a journal with you to track the patterns and to understand what exactly you are feeling. Okay, and many a times people say that I don't want to write those things because that will keep me very close to the wounds again or the pains again. But I want to tell you that there was Abraham Lincoln, you might be aware about, a great leader, right? He practiced about the hot letter method. So when he was angry, he would write a letter expressing his emotions, then put it aside for 24 hours instead of sending it. And this is very similar to wait before responding principle. And even for that matter, I've read one another thing is that Warren Buffett. So Warren Buffett say that you can't let the emotions get in the way of your judgment. The market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. Okay, so don't make decisions in anger or in excitement. Never ever. Okay, so emotional detachment. Another thing is that. So there was a Roman emperor. I don't remember his name, and there was a Stoic philosopher, and they once faced a very fight over during the public address. Okay, and the man interrupted him, trying to provoke, try to embarrass him in front of so big audience, right? And instead of getting angry or defensive, that emperor simply paused and looked at the man calmly and said, "You may say what you please, but I must act as a reason and duty require of me." So then he continued his speech as if nothing has happened. The audience quickly realized the power of his response. He did not ignore the men because he did not care. He cared enough to stay in control and not let one person's drama hijack his duty. So this doesn't mean that you don't care. It means that you don't let the drama control your emotions. Okay. So by this, I just remember one thing that. There was a situation, or there was a real incident happened when we entered the restaurants, and I saw a man who was controlling and complaining, there is no ketchup here and that. And he created that mess, and what is this restaurant service, how are they charging the service charges and everything. Now the point here is, instead of creating the drama, he could have thought the solving the problem and just go and ask and get the catch up what he wanted. So the point here is, don't make a mess, don't let your drama control, or let their drama control your emotions. Okay, and think like a scientist. He's studying an interesting behavior, like very interesting behavior, and a boss snaps at you in the meeting. So you feel insulted, your face turns red and you stop contributing. Maybe you just sulk for the rest of the day. What exactly you should do with the detachment, what I was talking about, the emotional detachment, that you should pause and remind yourself, this outburst is about their stress and not my worth. Now you can write this line. It's a very important line. Okay. This outburst is about their stress and not my worth. You finish the meeting professionally and later decide calmly if or when to address such a situation. Okay. Now many a times it happens that a colleague takes credit of your work, and it happens. If you are thinking without detachment, you get angry, you confront them, and in the heat of moment you just damage the relationship. But if you work with detachment, you note the behavior, you log it, you write it, and at the right time you highlight your contribution in a professional way without the drama. Okay, so the point here is that 78% of the people I surveyed said that emotional detachment was their biggest game changer. Okay, so accept what you cannot control. You cannot change the CEO's personality, you can change anybody's personality in your office. You can't make them suddenly become ethical, you can't make other people do what you really want. But accepting this reality frees you to focus on what you can do. Okay, so stay ethical even when they are not. Make decisions based on what's right and not what's convenient. And follow that integrity. So integrity is your actually a long-term insurance policy. Okay, now there might be a case like two teammates drag you into their politics, asking you to pick sides. That also happens. Okay, so the point here is, you stay neutral, you focus on the facts, guide them towards solutions instead of playing the favorites game. Now Mahatma Gandhi is a very important example in that. He never compromised on truth, on satya. And by the way, like non-violence, even when shortcuts could have been inconvenient, his integrity became his lifelong shield and leadership anchor. Ask yourself, why did I attract this situation? So now many a times, people say that, I don't know why this situation got attracted to me. So what exactly that situation can teach you is, be in the boundaries, set that boundaries. Okay, Now there might be a situation where you have been performing so well, so your manager or the team keep assigning you extra work. I actually did one-to-one call with one girl, and she was saying that, I keep on getting more and more work. However, I have very limited time to do that, and I can't say no. And that's what many people don't say no. They have the fear of saying not no, and you keep saying yes, 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 and at first it feels like good, you're being taking responsibility so that your salary will rise and all that stuff. But soon you realize that your plate is overflowing, and you realize that there are late nights, there are missed personal time, there is quality of work is being hampered. Okay, so we often think that overwork is purely company's fault, but actually it's your fault as well. Okay, so if you say yes every time, others assume you are available every time. Okay.